Our video this week is a 4-year comprehensive review of the children's learning apps created by the Osmo company. In this video, we will review the software, the hardware, and the overall educational benefit that is advertised by Osmo and their applications. In 2014, Time magazine named it as one of the top 25 inventions of the year. In 2017, Fast Company named Osmo one of the most innovative companies of the year. And Osmo has amassed over 20,000 customer reviews on Amazon with an average of 4.7 out of 5 stars. However, do all of these accolades translate to an effective product for the homeschooling family? In this video today, we're going to find out. We bought all of our Osmo products 4 years ago when my daughter was my son's age. And I don't have video of my daughter when she was my son's age using this because we weren't filming for a channel back then. You see, YouTube wasn't around 4 years ago. It was around 4 years ago? I'm just late to the scene. Okay, got it. With the Osmo apps, concepts are made simple and fun with this innovative program that brings together an app-based learning adventure with interactive workbooks, all personalized to your child's learning level. And if that definition seemed very succinct, it's because it came directly from their website. But the core of their company helps with building math, language, spatial orientation, drawing, and even beginner coding concepts using their applications as they interact with their iPads or other tablets. We started with their interactive starter kit that included apps for math, reading, coding, and Tangrams. Additionally, we purchased their interactive drawing kit with the whiteboard. At its core, the Osmo system is essentially a stand, a reflector, and their apps which you can download from the App Store online. Which brings me to the very first thing I like about the system, its portability. This is the packaging used when we purchased the kit, and the packaging appears to have been upgraded a time or two since our initial purchase, which brings me back to my first point. It's very portable. This is especially nice when you have multiple kids. Take for example a situation we find ourselves a lot in that you probably do too. You have to take one kid to sports practice or their other educational obligation, leaving you with free time away from home with your child or other children that you could be doing something educational with. You can always pack up a bunch of materials from your homeschooling area, or just grab the iPad and Osmo kit and head out the door. Just know the Osmo can work outside the house, inside the house. It's pretty great. Anywhere you take it, it's going to work. And a quick aside, I know I keep saying iPad tablets because it's what we use in our home, but they're also compatible with Amazon Fire tablets, and you definitely want to check their website because some of the older versions of both companies' tablet devices aren't compatible. But if you bought a tablet within the last several years, you're pretty safe. You just want to make sure that the tablet you buy or already have at home corresponds to the appropriate Osmo packaging that you're going to buy. Take for example, if you try to use a standard reflector on an iPad 11 Pro model, you will get this message saying you need a different reflector. I learned that the hard way recently when we tried to use the new iPad, but instead of buying a new reflector, we just continue to use our old tablets and it works just fine. For starters, let's look at the Tangram application. Most of the Osmo applications have varying levels of difficulty, and the Tangram app is no different. You can see here when I click on the animal, I get a yellow and an orange circle. The yellow circle basically gives me a color-coded option to where all I really have to do is to match the appropriate shape to the appropriate color. By clicking on the orange circle, you get a greater degree of difficulty. Basically, you have to put the pattern together without the benefit of having the color codings to go by. This angle also gives you an idea of how the Tangram app and all the other Osmo applications work. An image of the student's game pieces is reflected on the tablet's camera, and then that image is then interpreted by the Osmo software to interact with the student and move the application forward. The origin of the Tangram puzzle is a little bit unclear if you look online, but it certainly appears to have become incredibly popular about 200 years ago as trade with China began to open up. In fact, legend states an old Chinese tile maker had created a perfect square and accidentally dropped it, breaking it into 7 pieces that he was unable to put back together into his square. I bet it was one of his kids that dropped it, but nobody asked me. The classic Tangram is going to consist of 1 square, 1 parallelogram, and 5 triangles, and it seems like those 7 shapes can be made into an endless array of patterns. Playing with the Tangram puzzle certainly appears to activate parts of the brain associated with critical thinking and trial and error problem solving skills. It's an excellent opportunity to test out geometric manipulations and certainly become familiar with the properties of shapes that they are using. The data in playing with Tangram show that it can help classify shapes, gain a stronger grasp of spatial relationships and spatial rotational skills, and even more basic tasks such as developing elementary geometry vocabulary such as flip and rotate. And if you've watched one of Veritasium's newest videos, you can see how calculating manipulating areas using only shapes and without formulas is performed. That video was great, by the way. Using the Osmo Tangram app and the puzzle pieces that come with the kit, they can create animals, spaceships, people, objects, and watch them come to life when they successfully complete the puzzle. There are definitely varying degrees of difficulty, and some are quite hard to complete. The educational value of letting your child play with Tangrams versus giving them a big block of Legos and tell them to go play and build something is probably quite debatable. However, the one thing I've learned about Legos that I didn't remember when I was a kid is how expensive they've become. And we're going to talk about the pricing of the Osmo system and how it might compare toward the end of the video. The next part of the starter kit that we're going to talk about is their numbers application. It's rated for ages 6 through 10, and on their website it states using these applications, kids can learn math without the pressure of time or the fear that they'll get the wrong answer. Osmo's real-time feedback lets kids learn through experimentation in a stress-free environment. Again, that's a quote direct from their website. Speaking of their website, one of the equations behind the girl on their website is wrong. I'm pretty sure 9 times 9 is not 27. They may want to get that fixed. In the math app, it begins with basic counting and advances through mathematical concepts from addition, subtraction to multiplication. There's definitely a component of positive reinforcement within this app and essentially all the apps that come with the Osmo starter kit. With the numbers app, with each right answer, you get to discover and collect over 90 fish of all kinds, even learn a little about them, and my son seemed to really enjoy that aspect of the game. If you're considering purchasing Osmo, keep in mind that we bought our kit over 4 years ago and we're still using it. Of course, we have kids of varying ages, but the point is, what piece of technology do you have in your home that you bought over 4 years ago, still works like new, you haven't had to spend any more money on it, and we are still getting emails on the regular about updates to these apps and brand new apps that we are creating that we're not having to put more money into to have access to. So it feels like it's definitely easy to get your return on investment with these products. Next, we have the Words app, also rated for ages 6 through 10. The Words app is just like it sounds. You're going to use tiles to help spell words and complete challenges on the app. The tiles bring me to the third point that I really like about the Osmo system, its durability. And while I definitely don't recommend you drop or physically attempt to destroy the pieces, having had them for at least several years, the pieces do hold up pretty well. In the Words app, as you progress and complete challenges, you'll unlock games to play and additional characters that you can have for your dance party, which is the ultimate goal. Your kids would definitely benefit from having some knowledge of the alphabet already and the sounds that correspond with each letter. But as they gain that knowledge, you can absolutely begin to incorporate this activity to further their development. The games and positive reinforcements that are embedded with the apps definitely do a good job of keeping your child engaged and very much interested in continuing on with the apps. I guess if I had to really nitpick, my only gripe with the Words application, and to some extent some of the others, is as soon as you get the answer right, it moves on to the next one. So for example, if your student was struggling with a specific problem, as soon as he got it right, it moves on to the next level, and you don't really have a moment or two to kind of go back over the problem and see exactly what the struggle was. I mean, you can always minimize the app and bring it back up when you're ready. It's just a minor thing that irked me a little bit. The next app we're going to talk about is the Coding app, and this one I have mixed emotions on. The Coding app does an excellent job on introducing the concepts of coding language in a fun and interactive way. You are provided with several different pieces that you have to manipulate to form a series of instructions for the character on the app to follow. Much like actual coding being a series of instructions such as numerous if this then that scenarios. The same applies to the app. I have mixed feelings with the Coding app, however. I know I should be encouraging my kids to learn how to code and engage in electronics, but deep down to my core, I'm really just a science geek. Of course, I use electronics and certainly these apps and others like it on a regular basis, but I have very little passion about the coding and the development process behind them. That's the number one reason that our website that goes along with what we're doing here looks so basic. And speaking of our website, if this is the first time you've been to our channel, we are almost all about homeschool science. We do science experiments, demonstrations, and do our best to explain the science behind them. With most of our videos and experiments, the idea is that you can replicate them in your home with your kids, or just have your kids watch the video, and then you can download the free assessment from our website and give it to your child just to make sure they learn something. In fact, we just posted our 20th free worksheet on the website. Definitely go check it out. There are also free x-rays that you can download if you're in the middle of anatomy assessment and want some additional resources, and there will be more things down the line. So if you'd like to follow us on our Twitter account, that's the best way to know when a new video is posted or something is posted on our website that you might find beneficial. Is that enough of the shameless plug already? But getting back to my lack of passion on coding, just like with math, reading, and science, it's on you as a parent or educator to take what your child has learned from the Osmo math and reading apps and carry it forward to the next level. The same applies with coding. And I just don't know if I'm going to pursue that path with my kids at this point in their education. However, if you do have more of a desire to have your kids exposed to coding and plan on moving them on to more advanced topics, then this is definitely a great place to start. The last thing we're going to talk about is their monster application. For this, you will need their drawing kit, which comes with a creative drawing board, erasable markers, and a sleeve to put your markers in that also doubles as an eraser. That's pretty clever on their part. It is a separate purchase from their starter kit, and this is meant for the slightly younger crowd, being advertised for ages 4 through 9 as compared to 5 through 12 like most of their other apps. This is definitely built for more fun than developing creativity and imagination than pure education. Their Monster app is advertised as a magical creative experience that is designed to help supercharge your drawing skills and help develop creative problem-solving techniques. In this app, you can interact directly with their monster called Mo. As you draw on the interactive board, Mo then takes your drawings and then uses them to interact in his virtual world. He does a really good job of engaging with your child, and for the most part, my kids really enjoyed Mo and drawing and completing all the tasks that he wanted them to do. All in all, I think Osmo and their educational app can be an excellent addition to any homeschooling environment, especially in the age and skill level appropriate setting. Basically, the younger your child is when you get them involved with this, the more bang for your buck you're going to get back. I would say if you buy this when your child is between the ages of 4 and 7, you are guaranteed to get many years of beneficial educational usability. As I said, we are still getting emails years after we purchased our system talking about updates to the current apps and new apps that are coming. There are definitely no monthly charges or subscription service that you have to be a part of. And speaking of purchasing, there are various price points depending on what your goals are. You can buy individual activities, but definitely the most cost-effective avenue to getting started is purchasing one of their starter kits. Their current Genius starter kit, which includes 5 apps, is currently for sale for $99. You can buy these kits at a lot of different places. I've seen them for sale in our Target that's right up the road, and of course you can also buy them on Amazon. I'll put links in the description below to various Osmo products, including the starter kit, which I think is the best value. I will also link the current cheapest tablets that you can buy that are compatible with the Osmo system. That's it for this week's video, everybody. If you got any benefit from it, then do all the things below that most YouTubers ask you to do. Next week will be our second annual quasi-comprehensive Christmas gift guide to all homeschooling families. This year we will also include stocking stuffer ideas. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so you don't miss it. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you next week.